Hello YouTube and welcome to GrunfWorks Plays Naval Action. And in today's episode we will be showing off the Essex. The Essex, originally modeled by a USS Essex, is actually a fifth-rate ship that sits somewhere conveniently between the pirate frigate and the Trincomalee, closer to the Trincomalee. Now, let's talk about a little bit the history of Essex. The USS Essex, so the ship which, according to this, the Essex was modeled, it was a United States Navy 36 or 32 gun sailing frigate that participated in the quasi-war with France, according to the wiki, then the First Barbary War and the War of the 1812. The British captured her in 1814 and then she served as HMS Essex until sold at public auction at June 6th, 1837. A little bit about its history. The frigate was built by Enos Briggs, Salem, Massachusetts, at the cost of $139,362, and subscribed by the people of Salem and Essex County, to a design by William Hackett. It was mostly armed with short-range carronades that couldn't hope to match the range of 18 and 24-pounder naval guns. She was launched on 30 September 1799 and presented to the United States Navy and accepted by Captain Edward Preble. Now, with the United States involved in naval action against France on 6 January of 1800, Essex, under the command of Preble, departed Newport, Rhode Island in the company with Congress to rendezvous with a convoy of merchant ships returning from Batavia, Dutch East Indies. Shortly after commencement of her journey, Essex became the first U.S. naval ship to cross the equator. Congress was dismasted only a few days out, and Essex was obliged to continue her voyage alone, making her mark as the first U.S. man-o'-war to double the Cape of Good Hope, both in March 1800 prior to successfully completing her convoy mission in November. Now, in the First Barbary War, it was commanded by William Bainbridge on her second cruise when she sailed to the Mediterranean with a squadron of Commodore Richard Dale. There is more about the First Barbary War if you want to read, but let's just check a little bit of the War of 1812, which is most interesting because that's the time period that we are covering in the game. So when the war was first declared against the Britain in 18th of June 1812, Essex, commanded by Captain David Porter, made the successful cruise to southward. On 11th July, near Bermuda, she fell in with 7 British transports and by moonlight engaged and took one of them as prize. On 13th of August, she encountered and captured the sloop HMS Alert after an engagement. By September, when she returned to New York, Essex had taken 10 prizes. The youngest member of the Essex crew was 10-year-old midshipman David Glasgow Farragut, who would become the first admiral of the U.S. Navy. Farragut, who was Captain Porter's foster son, remained with the ship for the next 2 years. Now, it is well known for the Battle of Valparaiso, and for the 2.5 hours, Essex, armed with almost entirely with a powerful but short-range carronades, which Porter had complained to the Navy about on several occasions, resisted the superior British fighting power of the ships HMS Phoebe, 36 guns, and British frigate and sloop of war HMS Cherub, 18 guns. So it has been resisting fighting power, and fires twice erupted aboard Essex, at which point about 50 men abandoned the ship and swam ashore, only half of them landing. The British saved 16. Eventually, the hopeless situation forced the Porter to surrender. Essex had suffered 58 dead and 31 missing on her crew of 154. The British lost 4 men dead and 7 wounded on the Phoebe, and 1 dead, 3 wounded on the Cherub. So, there is more, and I will provide the link below. There is a wealth amount of information on the wiki, but let's a little bit discuss about the ship that you can see and play in the game itself. Now, the Essex is sitting roughly around the mark with the Trincomalee, battle rating of 200 and 315 crew. That's interesting. Now, it's massively overcrewed, at least it seems so in Naval action. However, its turn rate is very bad compared to the other ships. Not the worst though, but up there. It turns as badly as a frigate and like pirate frigate. So, two of the slow, sorry, not the turn rate, but the speed. Yeah, turn rate is as bad as Bell Pool, so if you're trying to be fast and nimble, don't choose Essex, as simple as that. Its armor is on the better side of the fifth rates, and it's not the best armored, it's definitely the Bell Pool, but it can rival, let's say, either the Trincomalee or Bell Pool, I would say. Then onwards to the Gunnery, it has a decent armament of 40 guns, although with a big downside of no bow or stern chasers, meaning that it has 20 guns per side and it can mount either the 12 or 18 pounder guns or the 32 pounder Carros, which is, I mean, in my opinion, crazy. 32 pounder Carros give this ship a total weight shot of 640 when firing with Carros, so almost double the damage, as Carros carronades can be mounted on both decks, which I think is great for this ship. Now, a little bit about its characteristics. It's good armor, but its lack of chasers make it better suited for support in line engagements. It has decent armaments. Like we said, it has no bow and stern chasers, and its speed means that you will hardly catch anyone, meaning, like we said, it's a support ship rather than a chaser or decent combatant. However, in my engagement when I was fighting with, I believe I was fighting with I was fighting with the long cannons, yeah, just now noticed, sorry. I have noticed that it has a very good damage output. It is a stable platform, it doesn't heal too much, which I found to be good, because if you're trying to compare it with a Trincomalee, which heals like crazy, despite the fact that it's very fast, I would say that this is a ship, if you plan on like fighting bigger ships, I think this is a good choice. However, if you plan to like fight maybe some smaller ships and stuff, it's not the most nimble, so don't try to do that. In this engagement, once again, we are fighting 2 ships, and I believe it's 2 brigs that we are fighting. Just a quick check, I think so, yes. So I'm fighting that with my little cousin, who is sailing on in this case he is sailing on a brig. So we have 2 brigs on Essex and a brig versus 2 brigs. Not the most well balanced fight, but I really wanted to show off the ship, and one of our adversaries has already gone to the Davy Jones locker, which means we have 1 more. Guns almost loaded, waiting for those final ones to complete. I hope they will be in time. Getting ready for a shooting solution and getting ready. Aim and fire. Very nice. 13 to the hull, shock, cannon and crew. Like I said, a very decent damage output. I'm really enjoying even the model, which I found on Pirate Frigate a little bit lacking, despite the fact that it's still one of my favorite ships when it comes to 5th rates. Despite people preferring the Trincomalee because of its chasers, bow chasers obviously. But yeah, like I said, not the best turn rate. It will be outturned by pretty much any ship and outrun by pretty much any ship in its class. But when it comes to the sheer damage output, I'd say it's pretty decent. So let's see. And this was... I actually think that on my top deck I had Carrows even. Carronades on the top deck and long cannons on the bottom one. Yeah, I think that's the case, guys. Sorry, it took me a while until I actually figure out what did I had packing here. But anyway, we are almost halfway through the Elizabeth Grog in the brig, so let us turn to port and see if we can do some damage there. Ever so slowly and carefully. I was seriously considering of keeping that one as my 5th rate of choice, but I have still opted to use Pirate Frigate simply because of the reasons I like the model and not many people have her. Even though it's basic, so I managed to buy it at, what was it, Kingston or something. Okay, and fire. I have switched to the chain ammunition because I wanted to weaken this guy's sails because, well, we already outgun him and he's already halfway down, so I was trying to help out my little cousin to figure out how to actually sail, because this was the first time he was sailing a brig. So sailing a square rigger for the first time, it's always tricky and challenging, but I felt he managed to do just fine. Okay, so hard to port, getting ready to fire another broadside. I am switching to ball ammunition. I think we have done enough toying with this little brig over there, so it's time to actually finish the job. I am just not sure if my cannons will reload by the time I would be passing this bad boy. And I'm turning as hard as I can, and I will probably do some raking shot. Okay, getting ready and fire. Okay, it's official, I'm an idiot. I did shoot its sails. Well, I was probably hoping to actually achieve dismasting, because I have not yet in this patch series seen a proper dismasting, so yeah, well, what can you do? Turning to port and trying to, let's see if we can weave a little bit behind this fella and fire another broadside of 14 18-pounder cannonballs and 6 32-pounder carrows. Okay, depowering the sails because of healing a little bit and firing into the sails. Well, sadly no dismasting occurred, but we did manage to take out a decent portion of its sails. By the way, guys, I will be posting a few more videos like this and a couple of fleet naval battles, just for your information. Let me know which type of episodes you like most in the comments, whether it's like the ship features, whether it's the battles, whether it's the fleet battles. I'm really curious to know which content you like the most, so I can just simply make more of it. Anyway, another broadside into the sails, main mast still holding, so, and receiving some of the fire ourselves. But then again, I mean, we haven't even been like scratched by this tiny brig, so no harm, no foul. Hard to port once again, and reloading ever so slowly. By the way, I'm sailing at the rank of post captain, so I am able to fully crew this ship, which is very good. Sorry, given the new crew management and stuff. Okay, let's focus. 250 meters. Let's see if we can fire one gun at a time. Maybe hit the mast. And as you can see, my aiming skills leave something to be desired. Sail, sail. I'm just hitting sails and I'm really trying to hit the mast. Well, what can you do? 7 sail shots. I think we will probably start drawing this battle to a close. After all, it's this brig's armor plate on one side is done, so I'm envisaging it will be sinking shortly. I believe Munya did an excellent job in terms of taking her hull hit points, so maybe even one broadside and that should be enough. So I'm still trying to toy and hit its sails. Yeah, I mean, definitely these top cannons are actually not cannons but carronades. You can hear the difference when they fire. Okay, and okay guys, so it seems like we are coming to the end of today's episode. Yeah, battle over. Like if you like, hit subscribe for more naval action content that will be coming soon, and let me know which type of content you prefer. Until next episode, thank you very much for watching. This is GrunfWorks signing off.